Hello, everybody. My name is Oliver Sears, and today I will be presenting the West Side National Park. So, let's get straight into this. Alright, so my research purpose for this project was, originally for a world building project. I know, really nerdy, I apologize, but this would give me a engaging reason to pay attention and do the research, so I can make the environment as accurate as possible, as well as I hope to potentially travel to this place one day, the West Side National Park in the Bahamas. Just to give you a frame reference where it is. So now, the atmosphere. Alright, remember that website we had to do earlier in this year? We had to do for the rain and temperature climate. Now this is, what I got for it. So now, as we can see here, there is a majority rainy season from April to November. It's a very, very rainy time. It is said that even sometimes in the early afternoon, that it can often just rain right away in the early afternoon, every day sometimes. But as you can see, in January to March-ish, there is a winter season where it dips heavily in precipitation and becomes more of a subtropic savanna zone from a, subtropic wet zone that it typically is throughout the year. Now, as you can probably guess, this will really cause a lot of hurricanes, especially due to the fact it's in the Caribbean Sea. This is not good. But the island is positioned on the subtropic high winds, which means wet water going from the ITCZ all the way over and slams right on them. Now, let's get on to the biosphere. This is going to be a bit of a quicker section. Now, the island is predominantly dominated by mangrove trees, more or less. Outside of there is a pine tree forest of the Caribbean pine tree. It's a very endangered species because it only exists in this general location. Now, the mangrove trees make up the majority of flora on the island, as well as some sparse grasses. But this place also holds the third largest coral reef in the entire world. That's ridiculous, I know. Now, the geosphere. It's a bit of a boring section, I'll be honest with you. Now, we'll get through this quickly. The geosphere, typically the soil is a sandy loam to loamy sand. Sounds like I made that up, but that is an actual term. It's very sandy, it's very not good to work with, very poor in nutrition for trees and alike. That's why mangroves have such long stilts, as well as they can exist in water better. Now, the fun part. As you can see, there's the Caribbean plate right here, and the North American plate, the Bahamas, rest right there. It kind of stretches all the way down to Cuba. Now, that causes a transformative contact zone. So, what do you remember from that? It rubs together. Those plates rub together and make really bad earthquakes. And since these are mostly tidal creeks we're talking about, this causes very large raises in sea level, which is causing hazardous flooding. Now, hydrosphere, we'll get on to this one. Now, as you can see here, from the ITCZ, we can remember it in Africa. It will go all the way up into the Caribbean Sea, in which we will be dumping lots of water onto the Bahamas, and specifically Andorras, the island that we're talking about. This is mostly fed by the Gulf Stream. That nice warm water from the equatorial region goes straight up, and then it swoops around, which is why there's a very warm tropical region in the Atlantic Ocean, something we don't really consider to be a warm ocean. That's because mostly of the northern influences on the climate and the water. As you can see, that also follows the same line as most hurricanes. That's because it's following the doldrums, those evil doldrums. Now, the coolest bit of information, these islands are utterly ridiculous when it comes to how many biomes there are. They are everywhere, and it switches between the seasons like rapidly, especially as we can see it goes from a subtropic savanna to a tropic wetland. It's just, it shifts constantly, and I think that is so amazing. Now, I want to thank you so much for tolerating this Google slideshow, And I hope you have a great rest of your year and years, and I hope you'll someday be able to visit that location. Now leave your comments in the comments section, or if you're on Blackboard, please do it there. Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your night.